You say that people should do their part, but has the government done its part? For example, if we talk about like the Nairobi-Nakuru highway, in 2019, the previous administration planned to construct a dual carriage. In fact, Africa Development Bank committed pumping 18 billion into a 160 billion project. Is this still the plan? Because have you done?
First of all, that is a different conversation in terms of regulating time for travel and traffic jam and so forth. In fact, in most of the roads during traffic jam hours, we have less accidents. So the conversation about accident is not so much about the traffic jam in Nakuru, Rironi-Mau Summit, dual carriage, or to Eldoret or to Malaba.
But sometimes it's as simple as space, because we saw in Sashangua, and in fact, it took a tragedy for that place to be
But if a car is still speeding at that speed, of course, perhaps it will only have the accident for that particular vehicle, not knocking the car that is coming from the other side. So dual carriage could actually be a solution in some instances, particularly for vehicles that are being involved in head-on collision. For the Rironi-Mau Summit, you know that the government of Kenya in 2016 started a process of dualing that road and eventually started an agreement with the French company in 2019. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to agree with the company on the transfer of risk in terms of traffic volumes. We have an expressway, the one of Nairobi, whose responsibility of the traffic volumes and the risk has been borne by the investor. Yet in this of Rironi-Mau Summit, we are being told that the government of Kenya should guarantee the difference. Should the road itself not be self-financing? And we have said that considering the debt situation in the country, we have unable to every year pay an extra 10, 20 billion. And yet there are more than 5 companies who have proposed that they will be willing to do the same project without necessarily requiring the government of Kenya to guarantee traffic risk. So that is the problem. The problem we have with the current investor is that we are unable to progress because of that particular sticking issue. And there have been proposals of scoping, descoping, and so forth. We are now at the tail end of agreeing between us and the French company whether we should sever our relationships amicably so that then we can allow any other company that is willing to invest without requiring the people of Kenya to top up every year an extra amount. And that process is going to be concluded in the near future. The process is already in an advanced stage. I do not want to jeopardize the conversation we are having because I am at the a deeper end of this conversation myself. But I want to promise the people of Kenya that this government will be the government that will dual that road, and not just that road, but we're also looking at possibility of using another PPP program to dual the road from Athi River to Namanga and from Athi River to Mombasa. Those discussions and proposals are ongoing.
In the current situation, how much would that cost, the Rironi-Mau Summit dualing? Because at that time in 2019, it was 160 billion.
At the moment, if you are going to use the current exchange rates, because the money is procured in dollars, it's a moving target, but the last time we looked at the figures, they were already over 220 billion Kenya shillings. And that's why it makes it expensive, because the investor will not be able to recover that amount within 15 or 20 years if they are unable to do so, particularly for an investor who is borrowing. If you are borrowing the entire amount, there is a possibility that that investor may not recover their investment very fast. And as a result, they will want the government of Kenya to bear the cost of the difference. And that's why, through that conversation, I want to tell the people of Kenya we are doing everything possible as a government as a whole, with serious negotiations, with the understanding between our president and the French president as part of these conversations. And I have been involved in this conversation here and in France and in general in Europe. I believe that we will find an amicable solution, because also the French people are responsible people. They will not want us to have more debt, because at the moment the biggest challenge in terms of infrastructure development is debt that is piling up, and government of Kenya to be able to get more debt. So we are doing these engagements, and even if we sever a relationship, it will be amicable because we are involving all the parties and we are putting all the cards on the table. And I want to appreciate the French people, the French investors, and all these people who are understanding the situation we are in as a government, and we will find a replacement from wherever parts of the world, but a person who is going to take full responsibility without requiring the people of Kenya to put any money.
But this
in
will,
the form and manner, in the form and manner of the expressway. I can almost say with certainty that we are the government that will do all Mombasa, Malaba Road and the Rironi-Mau Summit Road.
When?
And hopefully will be beyond Mau Summit in the conversation we are having, either towards Kisumu or Eldoret. We should be able to do so before 2027.
All right.